In the last 24 hours, thousands of people have been fleeing Victoria. Some have been panic buying, others have expressed their anger and their fear. This fourth lockdown is triggering and certainly tough on residents' mental health. Joining us live is lead clinical advisor at Beyond Blue, Dr Grant Blashki. Thanks so much for your time. How are people in Victoria feeling today?
Yeah, thanks, Gabriella. Well, I think it's a pretty tough morning for a lot of Victorians. Some people are feeling pretty angry, some are feeling pretty lousy, sitting around the kitchen table explaining to kids why they're not back at school today. And so no, it's not a great vibe in Victoria at the moment, I got to say.
I've been checking in with my mates who live there. One of the feelings that keeps coming up is that they are just so over it. How can people cope when they feel they don't have a sense of control over their lives?
Yeah, look, it's really hard at the moment, and I think it's important to try to keep the big perspective. I mean, the truth is that we're the absolute envy of the world. All my colleagues overseas are like, oh, you're so lucky to be in Australia. So it's not much fun at the moment, and it's not perfect. But Victorians have done this, unfortunately, before, where we know what to do and we know it works. And the other thing is we're at a different stage now to the previous ones. I mean, we've got the growing vaccination rate. And so, every bit of that is reducing the risk and we're heading towards having this under control. So try to keep your cool at the moment, not much fun.
Yes, I suppose that's an important point to keep everything in perspective, but spending 160 days in lockdown, that's got to have an impact on your mental health.
Oh, absolutely. And we saw record demands on our Beyond Blue phone services. We've set up a specific coronavirus mental wellbeing support service and have had lots of calls and lots of people contacting us on the website as well. So it's good for people to know that's there. That support service has counsellors, but also they can refer you to financial services, to education experts, to parenting experts, all these sort of things. So if you're having a difficult time at the moment, you might want to contact us on the Beyond Blue support service, and that's a good idea.
It certainly is. Look, we are seeing fear play out in different ways. People are panic buying again. What is the psychology behind this? Why are people doing it? Are they genuinely just scared?
Yeah, isn't it interesting? I mean, human beings, we're not always very rational. And I think when people get scared, you get into that very basic sort of siege mentality and stocking up. When you think about it, there's not a whole lot of logic to having lots of boxes of toilet paper sitting at home at the moment. But, this is sometimes how people react. A couple of things that we know are really helpful. So first of all, if you're getting yourself into a state, curate some of the social media, give it a bit of a break, maybe turn down your notifications or plug in your phone outside your room. Keep your routine to your day. So get up normal time, get dressed. Try and keep a bit of boundaries between your work life and home. So set some times and maybe a place where you're going to do work at home. And keep up your exercise, healthy eating, connection with family and friends. So all those things we know help people get through these sort of lockdown times.
That is great advice. What's your advice to parents?
Yeah, so with parents, a couple of things. Be honest with the little ones. I mean, they know what's going on. They're so tech savvy, these kids. They know what's happening. Remind them that even though it's really annoying, they should feel very good about helping out with the lockdown because they're protecting themselves, their family, but also vulnerable people in the community. So really emphasise that sense of you're part of the Australian community that's doing this great thing to look after everyone.
And what's your message to people who aren't living in lockdown?
Yeah, look, I think a little bit of sympathy goes a long way. People in Victoria are feeling like we're in a bit of a parallel universe. But as I said, we'll get through this. If you know of people who are doing it hard, who are isolated on their own, good time, pop in a call to them, give them maybe work out if you can do a walk with them, try and reduce some of their isolation would be a good idea.
And just finally remind us where people can go to get that support during this lockdown time.
Yeah, so you can either go to the Beyond Blue website, and probably the best thing is just to Google it, or you can ring our number, 1800 512 348. There's some lovely, highly skilled mental health professionals. You don't have to have a mental illness to call it. Just if you're having a bit of a struggle and think, oh gosh, I'd love to get some objective view on things, highly recommend you give that a call.
Yeah, certainly very needed during this time. Dr. Grant Blashki, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Gabrielle.